All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can, Your Honor.
Wonderful. Morning, Mr. Denman. I hope you had a nice trip.
Well, thank you. I did. And it's refreshing to take a break and now get back to the grind.
Yes, everyone needs time to regenerate and renew. Okay, let me check to make sure our court reporter is ready. Tracy, are you on the call and ready to go?
Good morning, Judge. I'm ready to go.
Great. Thanks, Tracy. Okay, I'm not going to waste everyone's time. It's Friday morning, almost Friday afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and call proceeding number 23A-0471E. This is the application of Public Service of Colorado for a software development kit. If I could first have appearances.
Yes.
Why don't you start, Mr. Denman?
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen H. Denman, Assistant General Counsel on behalf of Public Service Company, here this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Denman. Mr. Cox, you're next on my screen. Why don't you go ahead?
Justin Cox, with the Attorney General's Office on behalf of trial staff of the Commission.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Cox. Mr. Ball, I've got you next.
Thank you, Your Honor. Andy Ball on behalf of Mission Data. I'm with the law firm Keys and Fox here standing in for my colleague Jake Schlesinger, who's tied up with a hearing in another matter today.
I'm sorry, what was his name? Jake Schlesinger, is that what you said?
Yes, that's my colleague's name, yes.
Okay, great. I've got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Ball. Okay, and last for the UCA, go ahead.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Assistant Attorney General Patrick Wittersheim on behalf of the UCA, instead of Tom Dixon and Kate Crampton, who are the Public Service TEP hearing this morning.
Okay, well, welcome and thank you for joining us, Mr. Wittersheim. All right, I want to thank you all for being here. We are here on hopefully what will be a fairly brief matter. I've received the proposed procedural schedule and evidentiary hearing dates, and as I indicated in my email exchanges with Mr. Denman, that puts us at a very tight deadline for the commission to be able to get the decision out by the final commission deadline, which currently is around July 11th, I think. I can't remember exactly. But with a May 2nd, 3rd evidentiary hearing date, that would just not give me or the commission enough time to be issuing decisions and allow for exceptions and whatever else needs to happen. So at Mr. Denman's suggestion, I called this hearing in order to consider the option and possibility of further extending the deadline. In order to do that, Section 40-6-109.5, subsection 1 permits me to do that, but I do need to hold an additional hearing. I'm sorry, subsection 4, not subsection 1. Section 40-6-109.5, subsection 4. If we can establish extraordinary conditions that warrant a further extension of the deadline, but it does require us to hold a hearing. So I called this in order to have all of you provide me with some argument and evidence as to why a further extension of an additional 130 days is warranted in this case. Mr. Denman, do you want to go first?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much. And it's my intent to provide with you a record upon which you can make the necessary findings that you just described. But first, I want to say that in negotiating procedural schedules and hearing dates, I have always been mindful of the statutory deadlines and the need to allow sufficient time for Your Honor or other ALJs to issue the recommended decision for the exceptions process to run and for the commission to issue its decisions on exceptions if they are filed in a timely fashion. And as I advise you in our email exchanges in this proceeding, counsel for the parties tried very hard to find hearing dates that would allow sufficient time to litigate the case and for the issuance of your decision and a final commission decision before the end of the 250-day statutory deadline of, I believe it's July 8th.
Yes.
We found that to be impossible in this case. And I can summarize for you the steps we went through to try to find hearing dates in March that would have allowed us to finish the case in your honor to enter the decision in a timely fashion. So after the case was deemed complete and prior to December, Public Service Company worked internally on a proposed procedural schedule and hearing dates. Then after we received your decision R23-028-I, granting mission data as permissive intervention, the Public Service Company finalized its proposed procedural schedule. And then on December 18th, we proposed to the council for the other parties a procedural schedule that had hearing dates of March 21 and 22, with answer testimony proposed to be due on January 26th. The other council had concerns with our proposed schedule, primarily due to the hearing dates and other conflicts during the last 2 weeks of March, and with the January 26th answer testimony date. The initial proposal was to move the whole schedule forward by 4 weeks from opposing counsel. That 4-week extension out into the future created other conflicts with the hearing date and other due dates in other cases for other counsel in this case, as well as spring break schedules for Denver area public schools for some of the other counsel in the case. So as a result, we proposed a second procedural schedule, which is the pending schedule that we presented to you of May 2nd and 3rd hearing dates and the answer testimony date of March 8th. And with some minor refinements to other due dates, we then made a proposal to you via email. That I believe is on December 22nd. And then that brings us to the difficulties. And so these difficulties just presented insurmountable problems in getting a procedural schedule that allowed you and the commission to do your duties by the end of the July 8th deadline. The commission has now scheduled hearings in early March through something like the 19th in the Clean Heat Plan case. I know that some other counsel, maybe some of the ones in this case from public service staff and UCA, are all in that case. And I have hearings in early April with other due dates in April. So pursuant to 40-6-109.5 pardon me, we believe extraordinary circumstances do exist here that allow you to extend the statutory deadline for a final commission decision, of course, for a period not to exceed 130 additional days. And the consensus schedule that we have proposed to you, I believe, permits you to extend the procedural schedule as long as you believe you need for yourself and the commission to issue the necessary decisions. And so under these difficult circumstances, we submit to you that extraordinary circumstances do exist and you should make that finding. Pardon me. And that we don't believe you need 130 days. We think maybe 40 or so days may be enough, but I leave it to your discretion on how long you need to extend the case. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dedman. And I just want to note, I know you are always mindful of the commission's deadlines and schedules, so I don't believe that was the case at all, but we do have to have this hearing in order to extend it further. Mr. Cox, do you have anything you'd like to add to what Mr. Denman said?
Your Honor. Not too much to add. I would just agree that staff as well as counsel for staff did have a number of conflicts, including with some of the initial proposed dates, including the answer date in January 26th, which is the end of the TEP hearing that's going on right now, as well as the middle of March clean heat plan proceeding, and there's starting to fill up in beginning of April as well. Council has a conflict. So otherwise, we agree with everything that Mr. Denman has said and agreed to the schedule that was proposed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cox. Mr. Ball, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just briefly would also echo Mr. Denman's comments and state that Mission Data agrees with his recitation of sort of how council has worked together to find a schedule that works, and would also reiterate that Mr. Schlesinger, who is Mission Data's lead counsel in this matter, has conflicts with that required this sort of pushed out schedule, including with out-of-state hearings. So I'd also like to add a word of thanks to council in this matter for working cooperatively and to find something that works well for all parties. And thank you to you as well, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ball. Appreciate it. Mr. Witterschein, anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing to add beyond we support the company's proposal and we appreciate the coordination between Your Honor, the parties, and the company, and we're involved in all the same proceedings. So I'm glad we're on the same page. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, I think that should give me ample arguments and evidence to warrant extension of the deadline under 40-6S109.5 subsection 4. To be fair, Mr. Denman, if I'm going to extend it, I probably won't just do it for 40 days. If I'm going to extend it, I'm not going to cut myself short. The commission, as you all know, is quite busy. So a little more time is probably good for us, and a little bit of a cushion won't hurt. I will go ahead and get that order issued as soon as I can. But I think that's all we needed to cover today. Is there anything else we needed to address, Mr. Denman, or are we good?
The only thing I would add, Your Honor, is thank you very much for your understanding and your consideration of our request. And of course, I'm well aware that the difficulties you may have in controlling your schedule and getting your decisions written and issued.
Yes, as I'm sure you're patently aware, I'm trying, but the commission has been slammed, so a little more time is only good for me, honestly.
I truly understand, and that's why, in our initial email, we suggested a time frame. But of course, it's up to you how much time you need, and we appreciate it very much. And on behalf of my client, we extend great appreciation to your consideration of our proposal.
Thank you. That's very kind of you, Mr. Denman.
And finally, we just request that you adopt the consensus schedule that all of council worked so hard to negotiate.
The schedule works just fine. I have no qualms with it. It was just a question of the tight deadlines at the end, which if we extend this out will not be an issue anymore. And just so all council know, when I got the dates, they're held on the commission's calendar, the May 2nd to 3rd evidentiary hearing dates. So those should not be taken by anybody else. I asked that they be reserved. So we should be ready to go, and I'll get it out as soon as I can.
Thank you again, Your Honor.
Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy the rest of your day. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.